What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 15 of the Hardcore Chronicles. I am your host, LtBuzzLitebeer. We have made it down into the southwesternmost part of the map and over to the Lincoln Memorial. This is a level 20 mission, and I am a level 20 now. So in between last episode and this episode, all I've really done is I completed some of the tasks, I guess, and projects over in Constitution Hall, which are actually really easy. I recommend doing all these. I'm leaving the side missions, and essentially all I'm doing is collect 4 shade tech, complete 2 missions, and donate 3 masks or something. Those are really easy. You can complete those projects, and they reward you with quite a bit of XP. But you can complete those projects very quickly. So hopefully everyone had a good weekend. In case you didn't catch it, I did a off-the-cuff, just mysterious stream this past Friday. Wasn't feeling very well, but went ahead and did it anyway. We streamed some survival, so if you want to check that out and watch the VOD, all you got to do is look in the video description, and it'll take you to my Twitch channel, and etc., etc. So anyway, I had received an anonymous donation with a mysterious note on it that this is to be used for streaming. So consulted with my mods from my Twitch channel, and we decided, hell yeah, let's do it. So we did it, and it was exciting. It was good getting back into Division 1 survival, which is quite possibly that and Underground are my 2 favorite modes from Division 1. So anyway, Lincoln Memorial, this is another one of these really straightforward missions. As long as you don't get too deep into the different zones, it shouldn't be too hard. If you run in too far, you can get surrounded, and then you're probably going to die. As you notice, I'm not using the Mark 17 anymore, which I was using last mission. It was just getting a little outdated. It wasn't keeping up with what I needed to, so I did find this MDR, the Micro Dynamic Rifle by Desert Tech. Bullpup rifle, roughly the same as far as the recoil pattern for the Mark 17. I mean, it's not as accurate. It doesn't hit as hard. But because it was a much higher level, it does hit harder. But this one, I think, has like optimized or something on it, but it also has ignited. For those who don't know, I have a chance to set enemies on fire just with the rounds out of my MDR. So every now and then you'll see somebody catch on fire. That is because of ignited. I am also rocking the L86 on the back. I found an okay one. Just wanted to put it on there. It looks good. I like it. It's definitely an accurate bullpup LMG. Reloads fast because, of course, not belt fed, but doesn't hit as hard as the big boy LMGs. Doesn't have as much ammo. It's kind of bottom of the food chain, but for finishing off one injured NPC, they're ignited, just procced. For finishing off an NPC who's pretty low on health or something like that, you just switch over to the L86. It definitely centers up very quickly. It's quite accurate, which I appreciate. So you can see the enemies are hitting me a lot harder now. I've gradually, and this entire run through, all the way up to rank 20 now, I've concentrated on 2 things: health and armor. Health and armor. I supplement my DPS with the turret, and other than that, I just look at what's going to give me the most health and the most armor. I think at this point, Providence Defense, I have 2 pieces on, so I have like 8% health. I'm concentrating on things that give me, bonus armor, armor on kill, health on kill, that sort of thing. Once again, beautiful mission design here. I mean, it's interesting, especially on the harder difficulties. This shouldn't be too difficult. As far as I think there's one NPC that fires a grenade launcher coming up in this next area, but other than that, I never really experienced any issues on Lincoln Memorial. Excuse me, as you can hear my voice, I'm still battling. I think it's round 2 or 3 with this cold/flu. It's come back. It's in one of my ears, so my ear clicks and pops every time I swallow or blow my nose. My voice is particularly deep today because of what I've got going on in my sinuses. But, I've got a little time on my hands, as you know, so staying home, drinking lots of tea, resting. At this point, all the fever and everything's gone, so it's just got to get out of my sinuses and I'll be okay. As far as what I wanted to talk about today, yesterday was definitely a sad news for, or sad day, excuse me, for sports fans. Those of you that live under a rock, we found out that Kobe Bryant, ex-NBA superstar, not just a star, a superstar, and I believe it was his eldest daughter, were both killed in a helicopter incident in California. And it got me thinking, because I've watched Kobe through his entire career, and he will undoubtedly go down as one of the greatest. It's hard to rank those, but I was starting to think about it. Maybe we could pose this as a question as I'm blasting through Lincoln Memorial here, is that who would, I mean, for me, Kobe is in my top 5 all NBA team of any player, and quite possibly I would rank him the most skilled player. Nothing against Jordan, but Kobe just had insane amounts of skill, and I'm pretty sure that those, anyone else on that top 5 would probably rank Kobe as the top most skilled player they ever played against, because he was just that good. As far as the other 4 in my top 5, of course you got to have Michael Jordan. I mean, you could argue, obviously, that Kareem needs to be in there, Wilt needs to be in there, LeBron, whose career is not over, just passed Kobe Bryant the day before his death for 3rd all-time on the NBA leading scorers list. So there's a case to be made. I mean, you could argue maybe, for those of you that like Larry Bird or something like that. I mean, I'd like to see what your top 5 is, and where do you, and place them in the order that you feel they are. I'd like to see how many of you put Kobe in there. All the news stations were carrying all of his stats and everything like that. Like 33,000 points played in the league, 20 years, all 20 years with the Lakers. 18-time All-Star, 5-time NBA champ, 2-time, MVP of the championship, 1-time league MVP. I mean, the guy's resume was insane. But what I found very interesting, and I didn't follow much of his life outside the court, is that he had established quite a few really smart business, dealings and things like that outside of the NBA once he retired. I believe he retired in 2016. I didn't know that he had made a $6 million investment in the body armor sports drink, for which a few short years later, Coke bought the brand out for, I believe it was $200 million. They bought the body armor brand with the rights to, brew it and distribute it for $200 million, and he made a $6 million investment into it. So really smart decisions outside of business, outside of basketball. I mean, he made great decisions within basketball too. Excuse me. So yeah, sad day. This was yesterday. I'm recording this on Monday morning. I've just been laid out this entire weekend. It hasn't been a good weekend, but watched a lot of it on the news. It looked pretty horrific. Possibly fog involved or something like that. Anyway, he owns a private helicopter, and looks like it slammed into the side of the mountain. They believe maybe fog or something like that has something to do with it. So rest in peace, Kobe, and his daughter. He leaves 3 more daughters and his wife, and one daughter is less than a year old. So, man, it was a sad day if you follow all that. Let me activate this over here. So yeah, definitely, keep it respectful. I don't want to see any arguing in the the chat. But if you would, let me know your top 5, or maybe your top 10. But definitely place them in your order. I'd love to see what other people have to say out there, because I've watched a lot of great b-ball players over the years. But man, 41 years old. And his 13-year-old daughter perished in the crash with him as well. All right, so we're mowing our way through here. Lincoln Memorial, fairly, actually, an extremely linear mission. Everything has to do with these long, narrow chambers. You should have no issue with this mission as long as you're paying attention and not running too deep into the chambers, because these boys, the NPCs on this mission. Excuse me, I was thinking about, oh, there's an Emmeline's guard. There we go. Perfect. The NPCs on this mission, they move quick. They're not the plodding heavies that sometimes you run into. These boys can move quick, and if they get in behind you, they can really cause some havoc for you. I'll show you where to shoot all of the junction boxes, so you know how to get into all of these different ones here. There's one for this one back here. Also, all you have to do is follow the heavy wires on the ground. I mean, it makes sense, right? But some people don't, so you get to see me open them all.
Can't afford to let the true sons escape with those.
Lots of loot in here.
Find a way to close up that tunnel.
At this point, I probably won't go into the gear. I'm just going to basically just bum rush this mission. The MDR is hitting plenty hard. Upgraded the gear enough that I still have that Overlord armaments. I believe it's a chest piece I'm still using, but anyway, for the 10% rifle damage, here's a comm. I have those 2 plus 4% rifle mods on, generic rifle mods on for rifle damage. This is not one. I'm just going to screw around, see if I can do anything. But anyway, this is one, however, for... Oh yeah, it's in here on the left. Can't see it. There it is. So yeah, gradually upgrading the rifle damage. I did notice on my way down here, especially through like the safe house and everything like that, NPCs are starting to hit me harder and harder and harder. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know if I'm gonna drop the turret just yet, because I am using the repair drone. But I'm considering dropping the turret because I am hitting the NPC fairly hard. And the turret's becoming a bit of a nuisance. It'll initially lock onto targets, and then it just kind of wanders around. Like an NPC will literally walk right next to it, and I have to manually re-aim it. It used to have a little more SA, situational awareness, than that, and it becomes a little bit of a nuisance. I may just switch it over to the Revive Hive, because we're in here to the mid 20s as far as our run through. Of course, 30 is when we move on up. But I don't know. I'm probably not going to do it during this mission. Maybe I'll do it before next mission. I definitely don't want to end this because of some stray explosive that goes off next to me. But every now and then I'll seem to I'm getting shot through some sort of object. Like on the way down here, I ran into some outcasts, and one of them was shooting me through a bush. I couldn't shoot him, but he was shooting through, and he had superb accuracy, just nailing me through this bush. And it stripped all... Here, I switch over to the L86 for you. It stripped all my armor off and got into my health bar before I could actually make it into cover. Excuse me. So I was a bit concerned with that. I was like, I had that emote going, not like this. You've ever seen it over on Twitch. So... there's some interesting things. And plus, earlier today, I had this weird, I don't know if it was a lag spike or something like that. Anyway, I was taking on, it was like 3 waves of some sort of resource convoy or something like that. And the mouse was like disengaged from the game. All of a sudden, the game didn't recognize that I had a mouse. And so I could move on my keypad as far as my movements of my character, but I couldn't aim the head around. That's how you aim the weapon. And I was like, oh, we're about to die. And I was able to, it's almost like I was caught on an object or something. There was nothing there. I was in the middle of the street. I ended up having to run away, switched weapons, went into my menu. Anyway, it fixed itself, but I'm getting to that point where I don't want anything funky to happen to my run-through that has really nothing to do with me. I don't want some sort of abused mechanic or something like that. Anyway, let's take a look at the gear. I want to make sure I can pick up other stuff. Starting to get DTE on the masks. When Gear 2.0 launches, DTE is going to be a thing in the past. But there's an Overlord chest piece. It seems to be giving me a lot of... well, here's hard hitting. It seems to be giving me a lot of destructive on most of my gear, which I'm not going for a skill build. L86, it's about the same. Apollo, I don't want anything to do with skill power right now. Health on kill, armor on kill, armor percentage. And then I leave it to the chest piece and the mods for the weapon damage. let's look through here. What do we got? Reload speed? Why not? Why not, right? Let's get rid of some stuff. I want to make sure I get rid of this stuff so when I pick up stuff later in the mission, it doesn't say inventory full, and then you happen to be in your menu, and then this one NPC just spawns in out of nowhere. Anyway, you know, you've played this game, you know what happens. That's a good amount of stuff to get rid of. There we go. Let me run on through. Alright, next area, pretty easy. Throw your turret about where I'm going to show you. That way it can rain down on this little computer section. And don't run down there. You're just playing this on normal right now. Or story mode, or whatever it is. I guess story mode. So there's only this, and then there's a small wave of blues that will come out. There they are right there. You don't have to worry about much on this. Make sure you don't go down there and get enveloped or anything like that. Medics, obviously you know what to do with them. Just drop them. You can see the MDR fires pretty quickly, but for every round that I fire, I mean, it seems to be just as accurate as long as I'm feathering the trigger. But its rate of fire exceeds that of the Mark 17, so it can get a little bouncy or a little jittery if you're not controlling the throttle or controlling the trigger. Alright, so shut this down. There's one more area in here that a lot of people forget about.
That should keep them from getting more of those
that's unlockable. I'll run over there and I'll hit the junction box here in a second. And it should be right here. Yep. And follow the wire back underneath to where you jump down. So a lot of people don't know about that, but there it is. Grab your loots and your components and your ceramics. 3 ceramics and 1 electronics. We hit the jackpot. That was definitely not the jackpot. No, 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 no. Alright, so here's the last area. This is actually one of the easiest boss encounters. As long as you don't hammer into this place and act like a goon, you can pretty much just tear them up because it's, like I said, this is a very linear mission. They've got to come right at you. So as long as you're paying attention and you don't let them flank you, and one way you can prevent them from flanking you is get too far into the mission. Turret here will be fine. Hammer down on these guys. There's 2 and 3. There we go. Reload. Should be a couple of elite. There's one. Elite medics, or I think engineers possibly. Definitely don't let them set up their turrets if they are an engineer. Don't let them revive anybody if they're a medic. There we go. We hit something on them. So the private is down. He drops some loot. There's going to be another wave that should come from that same area. There they come. Private Jeremiah Ramos. Negative Ramos. I hit his pack. So this is not an engineer, he's a medic. Remember, if you do hit their packs, you can shock them. And third wave should jump down from the top. Here they come. This is the heavy. So take out his goons first. One, he's going to be invulnerable for a while. I don't understand this mechanic. It's maybe so you can't melt him as soon as he gets down. We have to wait for his invulnerability to dissipate, and then we can lay into him. He has that flamethrower. It can cook you pretty easily, so be careful. But he does walk slow. Alright, there we go. Drop some rounds on him. Just keep pegging away on him. He'll eventually break his armor. So far, Ignited is not procced on him. There goes his chest piece. There we go. We'll drop him on this next round. Put up the drone just in case he decided to cook me, and we're done. Look at that. So pick up all your loots. We'll finish this mission up. Yes, give you the hand. Random brand gloves. Just what I wanted. Alright, Petrov. I'm not running that LMG build. Check around. Let's check right. Some more loots. I'm always running for loot, right? This game is about loot or shooter. Excuse me again. Wow. I'm going to take some more Mucinex when I'm done with this. And be happy. Take a nap. All right, so elevator up, finish up the mission.
I know they would have used those weapons on
Was that
us.
about 20
We would've
minutes?
ended up like
Probably about
Castle.
20 minutes, it felt.
I can't tell you how relieved I am to
You're
have
taking
you
your
on our
time. You're
side.
not going Rambo in it.
Thank you.
There we go.
Today,
Boom.
we dealt a great blow to the
And we
Crusader's
ranked up. Look at that.
We confiscated a
12
massive
Shade Tech
cache of chemical
campus
weapons
settlement
and eliminated
upgrade,
their
3 of
stronghold
4,
near the campus.
140k XP. So we're up into the
Saved a lot of lives
21s
today.
now, which is perfect. Field proficiency cache, Shade Tech, crafting level increased. I am up to, I've been gradually increasing, excuse me, my crafting bench. I'm up to a superior crafting level. Do we need to do any of this stuff? I don't think so. So probably a good place to go ahead and in this video, I'll go up and, you know, turn those things into the campus settlement and things like that. Go ahead and snap this thumbnail for the video. But like I said, probably a good place to end this. As always, I look forward to reading your thoughts in the comment section below. If you have not taken the time to smash that sub button, it would be greatly appreciated. And while you're here, make sure and click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from my YouTube channel. Also greatly appreciated if you could take the time to rate the video either with a thumbs up or down. That would also be appreciated. If you're interested in supporting me and my YouTube channel, Twitch channel, things like that, look in the video description below for links to my Twitch channel, to my Teespring Buzz merchandise store, and also to my Patreon page. If you want to follow me on Twitter, here is my Twitter ID up on screen. I comment on most things division related. And until my next hardcore episode, this is Lieutenant BuzzLitebeer signing off.